it's Rana and welcome to my channel. So this is the first episode of Rena Reacts, and this is a series where I react to stuff. And in today's video I have with me my bestie slash fellow YouTuber Nirupama K.R, and we are going to be reacting to SCP-682, which is one of the most iconic and popular SCPs from the Foundation. And this is not Nirupama, this is my sister Dina, and Dina has a channel too, so I'll be linking both of their channels in the description box below, so go check that out. And before we start this video, I want to tell a huge thank you to everyone for subscribing to my channel, and I am so happy to say that we have crossed 70 subscribers on YouTube, and I hope you keep supporting me more. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please go subscribe right now with notifications so you don't miss another video, and we can get to 80 subscribers by this week, I guess. And let's get to the video. So the SCP we are going to be reacting today is SCP-682, which is one of the most iconic SCPs. It is called the Hard to Destroy Reptile. And this video we are watching is from the infographic below.
In all your time working for the Foundation, you never thought this day would come. Panic hits you in an instant. If you weren't so horrified, then you might think about running for your life.
I think it's
but
about
deep
like
down you know that this would be futile.
Out of the
You'd
SCP.
hope, prayed even, that you never hear
out.
those fateful words yelled over your walkie-talkie. SCP-682 has breached containment. Of course, everyone working for the Foundation knows what SCP-682 is. The hard-to-destroy reptile, known for being fiercely aggressive, highly adapted to all forms of damage, and coldly intelligent. You look down at the handgun in your shaking hand, your palm hot and clammy around the grip. You might as well be a super soaker. You already know that conventional weapons won't even pierce SCP-682's skin. It's just too powerful. A voice in the back of your head is reminding you that everything the Foundation has ever hurled at this enormous, vicious creature has already failed to do anything but temporarily slow it down. Even the most complex methods of destruction haven't been enough to put SCP-682 down permanently, only causing massive physical damage. But even that's not enough to stop its relentless nature. You realize your options couldn't possibly be more limited. Attempting to fight the hard-to-destroy reptile would only spell a grisly death for you. But of course, if you were to run, the Foundation would never forgive you for abandoning your post. You can't kill the beast, so your only hope is to find some way to get it back into containment. But how? You would be forgiven for first thinking that as a reptile, SCP-682 would be susceptible to extremes in temperatures. Maybe some method of creating searing heat or freezing cold might stand a chance of beating it, even just for long enough to re-establish containment. But you'd be wrong. During one experiment, Foundation staff poured a single ton of liquid nitrogen onto SCP-682, hoping to freeze the beast solid. The plan the reptile started generating massive amounts of heat,
and it started making heat by itself,
continuing to increase its body temperature until the walls of its containment chamber started melting. You could try to recreate this, of course, but even if you could freeze the reptile, you'd only buy yourself 10 minutes, followed by a very angry SCP-682 letting off enough heat to potentially burn down the entire facility around you. So if freezing won't work, what about heating it up? A different test exposed the beast to extreme heat, but this also yielded similar results. Heating the chamber containing 682 to a high Kelvin, researchers witnessed the reptile form a shell of solid helium in order to protect itself.
Whoa,
if you were still coursing through you begrudgingly accept that 682 could easily shrug off any method you alone could employ to try to recapture it. Any traditional weapon you could get your hands on would be a little more than in 682. So what else could you possibly use to get the monster back into its cage? Then it hits you. Your gun might be useless, but there's an arsenal of other weapons at your disposal that could maybe, just maybe, give you enough of an edge against the creature. What is this wonderful weapon? One of the other SCPs. With a threat as big and ruthless and adaptable as SCP-682, perhaps trying to fight fire with fire isn't your best option. Given the reptile's regenerative capabilities and innate ability to adapt to any form of damage, it makes sense that the hard-to-destroy reptile has both the nickname and the reputation it does. Unleashing another powerful SCP in the hopes that it'll cause enough damage to the reptile that it'll retreat
can
back to its
cut
containment
everything.
unit, or at least render it weak enough for Foundation security to restrain and recapture it, seems like a pipe dream. Maybe rather than deal damage to SCP-682, a better strategy would be trying to find some way of subduing the beast, slowing it down, or maybe even making it susceptible to commands.
dreaming in
That
there.
thought reminds
I'm
you
not
of
going to work.
SCP-061 and the effect
What
it
is
had
this?
on
Is
682,
this the
and for a
old man?
moment gives you hope that you might be able
Yeah.
to win against
Is
the
that the old man,
hard-to-destroy
the one that,
reptile.
like,
061
goes
is
to
a
another
music program.
dimension?
Copies of its source code are found on
What?
4 separate
It's a music
CD-ROMs
program.
located in 4 different lockers. That
What?
only works in your
Yeah.
favor. If one was to break, you'd still have 3 spares. The primary function of 061 is to control
Oh,
brain
it's-
functions
this
by
thing
tricking
can
a subject's
control
brain
brain
into a sleep
functions.
state, preventing
make
any
it
Oh
sleep.
my god.
That is
leaving
so
the body
cool.
suggestible enough to follow commands.
And
When
it's
682 was
hypnotized.
exposed to the 061 program, the creature entered the usual state of relaxation that
Just
other
it
subjects
started, like,
experienced, and
sleeping.
even responded to basic commands like lie down and roll
Oh
onto
my
your
God.
back. After a brief period of unresponsiveness, although its movements were sluggish, almost reluctant, 682 did, for a brief moment, respond positively to the commands it was given. Unfortunately, after undergoing what appeared to be some form of seizure, SCP-682 rejected any further instructions
seizure.
and emitted a high-pitched screeching
Oh my
noise, causing
God,
nearby
that
Foundation
is
research
so-
staff to suffer the relaxed state one experiences after exposure to SCP-061.
What?
These personnel were consumed by the reptile shortly after, and it remains unknown how the creature integrated the SCP-061
Oh my God,
program
he
into
off
its
the camera.
biology.
He's like, this
Assuming
is
you
too
found
bad.
some way to utilize the SCP-061 program, which would likely violate the program's
This
own
will
containment
violate the
procedures,
laws.
then the chances of it being effective against SCP-682 are slim. Sure, you might get a few short moments of obedience out of the creature, but you would not be able to subdue it long enough to convince the reptile to return to the vat of acid it's normally contained in.
It is
Perhaps
contained in a
introducing an
bowl,
SCP
not a
that
bowl, it's like a
682 has
chamber
at
of
least
acid.
behaved passively around might be better. Then you remember the experiment with SCP-053, the
Yeah,
strange
little
little
girl,
girl
okay?
who has a profound effect on those who come into close contact with
we'll
her.
make a video
Any
about
who
this
touch
later.
053 or spend in excess of 10 minutes around her are
Right.
filled with a violent anger and an
I
overwhelming
know, I
compulsion
saw
to
this
murder
video, I think.
anyone
Yeah, this
nearby.
is such an iconic
While
SCP.
normally
She has
it
been
would seem
living till,
cool
like,
to offer up what looks like a
1990
3-year-old
something.
child to a
She's 3
hateful,
was
vicious
not
reptile,
good. Yeah.
you have no reservations about doing so with SCP-053. Luckily, she can regenerate, and any who try to kill her suffer a massive instantaneous heart attack.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly a perfect defense mechanism when faced with a creature that normally attacks anything in its path.
Yeah.
When first introduced to SCP-682, the little girl was understandably afraid of the creature, although
First,
the
she
reptile
was
did not
afraid?
devour the girl as it had done when presented with ordinary human children. Instead,
sad.
682 lowered its head and invited 053 to come
What?
pat it. As she did,
That's
the
the
creature
last thing the
exhaled through its
monster would do.
nostrils, causing the girl to clap her hands in excitement
Oh my
and
God.
hug the creature by
What?
the head.
What?
For the remainder of the experiment, 682 remained
What?
docile as 053
What?
brought toys and other items to the reptile, and even made drawings with
Yeah,
crayons on the
that's
creature's
really
carapace. To this day,
powerful
the
of
encounter
that
is one of the
girl.
only instances where 682, who usually despises all
God.
Make
forms
them
of
live
life,
together.
What?
and aggressive toward another living creature. Now, that sounds like a viable solution, right? Calm down the reptile with the little girl, and while it's not looking, figure out a way to recapture it.
What?
Sounds easy enough. Well, assuming you can get SCP-053 from her containment unit to the
See?
reptile
This
without
guy can
succumbing
die
to
if
the
he tries to
murderous
get
rage
out the
she
girl.
infects people with, there's
Yeah.
still the problem of what happens if you attempt to separate her from her reptile friend. During the original test, the Foundation staff who were supposed to contain the 2 SCPs were immediately torn apart by
Oh my
682.
God.
This means even if you can get them together and pacify the reptile, you might still struggle to get it back to containment, as any attempt to capture the creature in a docile state would likely cost you your head, and probably a few limbs too. Plus, you can't rule out SCP-682 figuring out your plan to distract it using SCP-053. After all, the hard-to-destroy reptile is fiercely intelligent, and there's nothing stopping it from seeing through your plans and possibly even turning on SCP-053 in the process. And as much as you'd like to think it possible, the heart attack 682 would suffer if it attempted to kill 053 would likely have little to no effect on the reptile. If all else fails, there might be one SCP that could possibly slow 682 down long enough to get the reptile back into its acid bath cell. SCP-162, another SCP that the Foundation previously
the old
used in
man,
an
I guess.
experiment designed to neutralize 682 permanently. While unsuccessful, 162
No,
did
this
manage
is
to
like a
inflict severe
metal ball
bodily
that
damage to
sucks
the
and
hard-to-destroy
tears everything
reptile,
down.
which might just be what you need to buy enough time to recapture the beast. 162 is a 7-foot-tall ball,
7 foot
a
tall.
seething mass of sharp implements,
Yeah. Oh my
ranging
God,
from
that's higher
fishing
than
hooks and line to
everyone,
scissors
right?
and needles. Anyone in the vicinity of
higher than
SCP-162 will find themselves drawn toward the razor-sharp
have like
mass,
this
reaching their
temptation.
hands out, compelled to
Oh
touch
my
it.
God,
The
that's
longer
like the
someone's
last
around
thing I wanna do.
SCP-162, the more they feel themselves drawn to it. And when they touch it, they find hooks being embedded into their flesh of their hand, ensnaring and
that's
pulling them closer to
disgusting.
cut them to ribbons. Previously, when these two SCPs have interacted, 162 dealt massive physical
Dude,
damage
this
to
got, like,
682, which,
physical
while
damage.
not enough to kill it, could slow it down. During the experiment, SCP-682 became agitated in the presence of SCP-162, thrashing about and hurling profanities at the nearby Foundation staff. The reptile's lower body, head, and left forelimb quickly became entangled by the sharp mass, the creature writhing and letting out cries of pain. SCP-162 refused to release its grip on the reptile, and when the lizard attempted to detach itself from the ball of bladed implements, its lower jaw and left hind limb were wrenched clean of its body.
Oh my
Naturally, this
God.
angered 682 enough to breach containment, using SCP-162 to cause the deaths of 11 Foundation staff
This
and a further
caused
86
11
injuries.
deaths
You'd have to
in
be
these
feeling pretty
Foundation.
brave to unleash SCP-162 on the hard-to-destroy
I would do
reptile.
that.
And of course,
That's
brave
really
isn't what you're
horrible.
feeling. You're afraid,
I mean,
and
I
you
don't
hardly
know
stand a
what to do.
chance at
That's-
killing
this
682 with
really is a
another
risky
SCP,
situation.
let alone recontaining it. Then again, you never know. You might get lucky. Maybe 162 will entangle 682, ripping its limbs from its body and slicing its flesh into ribbons. Sure, the reptile will regenerate and reconstitute
Oh my
itself,
God.
but if luck is on your side, you might be able to just contain the beast before it was fully healed. Or you might just make it angrier and thus make the entire situation worse. Ultimately, as you already know, your options are more limited than they have ever been. Run
Yeah.
for cover, hide while your fellow Foundation personnel are slaughtered, or free one of the other SCPs and let it deal some damage to the hard-to-destroy reptile while hoping for the best. Whatever you're gonna do, you better decide fast. Heavy crocodilian footsteps are drawing closer around the corner, and if you don't act fast and do something, then it's a guarantee that SCP-682 most certainly will. Now go check out the rest of our U vs. playlist.
So, the main conclusion that I came to after watching this video is I will never work at the SCP Foundation unless I get mad, or unless I get like some sort of mad and start working there. I mean, why should they even start to work there? Don't they know the risks? And you know, like I watched another video. Maybe it is. I don't know. I just so scared. I got nightmares about this. Like not only this, the scariest.
Seriously, you scaredy cat.
And then, like that's another thing. Like you know, after an employee decides to like leave the SCP Foundation, or you know something like that happens, the SCP wipes their memory. The Foundation wipes their memory and gives them a new fake identity, and they won't remember who they are. Yeah, that's how secretive this is. And
Oh my
there is-
god.
so there are like so many
Maybe it could be real.
yeah.
What if it is? What if the
so creepy.
what if it's in Area 51?
Oh
What
my
if it's
God.
in Area 51?
Oh, who knows? Maybe it is. So anyway,
Could be.
there are a lot of questions, and hopefully we'll get an answer sometime. I guess.
Someday, someday.
Yeah, someday.
Some year, some eternity, some century.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, leave a comment below, and we'd like try to make more videos like this. So and
Yeah.
also subscribe to my channel and Nirupama's channel, so that we can make more fun
I'm
content.
bye.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And as you know, this is my first reaction video, so it might not be perfect. It's obviously not perfect, and you might be wondering why my hair and I look different from the actual video. That's because I shot the video maybe like 3 or 4 days back, and I am filming the intro and outro now. So yeah, that's why I look different, and sorry for not uploading for I think more than 2 weeks. That's because I had exams and other school stuff going on, and it was really hard to focus on making videos, and I hope you understand me. By the way, if you like this video, a like is appreciated, and you can share this video with your friends too if you feel like it. And thank you. Bye. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, hey guys, it's Dina.